To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so as expected, today is a very rainy day. This is Saturday. And not only that, I tend to take Saturdays off a little bit. I try not to work quite as hard on Saturdays. I talk to family members. So today I thought I'd take a minute to answer a few questions, some comments. Of course, you always got the trolls. I always like addressing the trolls. It's kind of my release to get it off my chest. Okay, one of the questions that I got is, and I don't want to make this complicated, is voltage drop. We run a 12-2 with ground wire, just like this, right here, to the well pump and to the house. So there's two different wires. As a matter of fact, they probably come close together right here. So right here you'll see the two wires. One's for the well, the other one goes to the house. I'm going to bury this wire. The one for the well, though, I keep exposed because I can run it to the generator, I can run it to the inverter. And so they talk about voltage drop. Aren't you getting a voltage drop with that much wire? Okay, I don't want to make this complicated. I really don't. If you're worried about voltage drop, get a bigger wire. You can Google voltage drop. It's not that hard. So I run a 100-foot wire, 12-2 with ground, from my inverter, which is only 1,000 watts. It's not much at all. I lose about 3 volts. Now, those 3 volts are just minuscule to me. There's nothing to it. I'm not that worried about it. So when I go to the well, I lose about 6 volts. But now you got to remember, the well pump doesn't pull that much wattage anyway. So if you need a bigger well pump and you have to go 210, you have to get bigger wire and all that, that's all true. But here's the thing, and again, I'm not wanting to make this too complicated. You're only pulling about 9 amps through this. So it's very little amperage. Now amperage, it's like water. You get water pressure, and then you get water flow. So the more water you try to put through this wire, amps, the hotter the wire gets and it'll burn up. So amps is the thing I'm worried about. So like I said, I'm running 9 amps from the inverter to the house. Not much, because I got a lot of voltage. So voltage times amps equals watts. So 110 volts, 9 amps gives me about 1,000 watts, right? That's all I'm getting up to the house. Now, on the solar panels, it's the direct opposite. It's 12 volts, 50 amps. That means I'm putting a lot of heat into those wires. So I got to keep those wires pretty short. The longer the distance the amps has to go through, the more likely you're going to burn up the wires, and the thicker the wire is going to have to be. If you go back to when they invented electricity, I think it was Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell were having this huge debate about whether they're going to use DC electric or AC electric. DC electric's safer. AC electric is not. Well, AC electric won out even though it's not safe, because they didn't have to have these huge wires running through the city. They could use smaller wires. Well, when I'm running for my solar panels, I'm running a lot of amps, DC. And so I'm going to burn it up. I have to have huge wire. So I try to keep the solar panels close to the battery bank. Then I can run long distances with just small amount of amps. Again, not trying to confuse anybody, but as far as running AC electricity, you see it in the power poles. They run these thin wires in the power pole because they don't have a lot of amps. And then you can just calculate your voltage drop. It's minuscule to me. I'm not that worried about 3 volts or 6 volts. I'm not. One of the criticisms I get on my channel a lot is how trashy the yard looks. Looks terrible. And I'm to the point now where I really don't care what you think about my yard. Carolyn and I work nonstop on cleaning this yard. All the time. We're constantly working on it. And yeah, you see some construction material over here. We still have pipes hanging out of the ground where the old trailer was. This whole section right here, that building fell down who knows how long ago, so we're still trying to clean that up. This area, just a couple months ago right here where the chicken coop is, was just as bad as this area, and we got all that cleaned up. Now in the summertime, it's not even worth trying to clean up because that's where all the copperheads are going to live, and we're just not going to risk our safety to go clean it up. So we cleaned it up over the winter and the fall. Now remember, this whole area was absolutely destroyed, even worse than it is now. This is where the old trailer, the condemned trailer, was falling down. It was a disaster. And then we come over here, you'll see that we've completely cleaned up this area. Carolyn did that with a little sickle bar, and she cleaned that up, and then I went in there and cleaned it up a little bit more. And now we're going to put our woodshed over there. If you'll remember last year, where that pipe is on the tree, that whole area was just completely trashed. And so we've made it into one manageable pile now. And when we go to town, we always try to take a load of metal scrap to town. There's a guy up the hill here who takes a little bit, so the bigger items we can take up to his place and just dump it off on his place. So I mean, it's a work in progress, but that's what it is, it's a work in progress. This well, I've been working on it for a week trying to get it to clean up, and then I'm gonna put a building over that. Down here, we got our camper, that's where we stayed. And that old wood stove, we're gonna get rid of that. We've decided we're gonna get rid of that. That's the biggest thing, is trying to figure out what you're gonna get rid of. All this is just metal and glass. So we got that mess over there to clean up still. Must be new folks to the channel, is this is the whole point of this property. It was just absolute devastation. And it's kind of the point of the YouTube channel, that we all can live our dream. We all can. We just have to work the land. We have to clean it up. We have to build on it. We have to make it better, improved. The whole property was just devastated. There's an old goat building down there that fell down in the woods. I guess still clean that up. But when you can buy a piece of property for this little bit of a price and clean it up over time, then maybe the value will go up. The value of this property may go up. The wells start working. We'll get the septic tank fixed as cheaply as possible. So let's say we put $500 into a project and it raises the value of the property $1,000. And so you buy it for $4,200 and eventually it's worth $10,000, who knows? But that is not the reason we bought it. We bought it to be free and to make ourselves happy, and that we have accomplished. Somebody criticized me the other day that you got a toilet in your front yard. Well, that toilet has been gone for nearly, 2 months? When we moved into the house, I think we moved it at that point, but the toilet was in the trailer. So, I mean, how fast do you expect to be able to clean things up? Somebody says, you need to take a break from YouTube and clean that place up. Well, if I take a break from YouTube, then I'm giving up my revenue, part of my income stream. Of course, I have my business that I run, and I got YouTube. YouTube's becoming fairly profitable. Why would I do that? That doesn't make sense. But somebody else said, somebody's gonna sue you if you don't clean that place up eventually. Well, eventually I am gonna clean it up, but secondly, nobody's gonna sue me. Just went over to the hardware store the other day. They got a new guy over there, and we were loading the concrete up into the back of the truck. And he said, do you own that place over there that had that trailer on it? And he gave out the location. I mean, he knew where it was. I'm not gonna tell you. And I said, yes sir, that's me. Oh, don't call me sir, my name's, and he gave his name. And he said, man, that place has really changed around. You've done a great job. I really like what you've done. You put a lot of work in that place. No, my neighbors aren't gonna sue me because the place has a little bit of trash on it. They see the improvements. The other thing is we live out in an area where people will just want to be left alone. They don't want to be sued and they don't want to sue. Got a guy up here who lives from New Jersey. And first time I met him, he came down here and we talked about the property boundaries and different things. And he says, I'm from New Jersey. And he says, you ain't one of these HOA people, homeowner association people, are you? You're not gonna come here and expect me to do this and that and this and that. No, that's why I came out here. So they come out here to be free, to be left alone. They don't want the HOAs. So if you're watching this channel thinking, oh no, it's gonna be immaculate and it's, your neighbors are gonna do this and that, well then you're not really thinking about being free. You're thinking about how you can control somebody. And the hate, you know, we've really gotten into a country now where everybody hates everybody. And we can't seem to get past this idea that We don't have to hate everybody. Okay, another question I got was, why don't you get your tooth fixed? Did somebody pull your tooth out? Did somebody knock your tooth out? No. Have all my teeth. I don't have all my teeth. I'll be honest, I don't have all my teeth. This one here and this one here, right there, are gone. They've been gone for years. And I make my own teeth. I replace my own teeth. You can buy this plastic material that you can soften in coffee, put it in coffee and it softens. And this one, I do agree, I need to fix and replace. I gotta buy some more plastic. I've used all the plastic. I made a cast for my ankle a while back, and I used it all up there. I sprained my ankle and made a cast, and it worked really well. But no, I've got my teeth. But thanks for asking. So I hope I can inspire you to stop hating people and find a place that you can be free. Thanks for watching.